Well guys, bit of a different one today. I feel like generally when I make these videos, I have sort of a normal scope of YouTubers that I tend to talk about. Like I feel like there are just kind of like certain genres of content where you don't really see a whole lot of drama or controversy or like really anything that's worth making a video about. But today we're venturing into sort of uncharted territory for me, at least commentary wise, but it's a genre of content that I'm very familiar with, so I figured it was worth talking about. Now, if you're into cars or watch car YouTube, or really, if you just watch a lot of YouTube in general, his videos get a ton of views, more than what just car YouTube would produce. You've probably heard or seen the name WhistlinDiesel. He's one of, if not just the biggest car YouTuber right now, and his videos hit the front page of YouTube all the time. He used to make a lot of videos doing absolutely insane shit to trucks, and as his channel got bigger, as the views went up, he kinda started to go away from just doing like crazy truck shit, and started to do more just like crazy automotive shit in general. I remember the first video I ever saw of him was when he put the Hellcat on buggy wheels. Pretty good shit right there. But I never really watched him consistently, and the reason why that is, I think, is becoming kind of a popular sentiment. This video is not really going to be about like my personal opinion on WhistlinDiesel. It's going to be about something he's done recently, but I think it's only fair that I sort of give a disclaimer that this guy has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I remember I watched the Cybertruck durability test. That was the first one I had seen since the Hellcat one, and well, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, so I didn't like go deeper into his channel. And then he made a video recently, the one you're seeing in the background, where he put 17 turbos on a truck. I watched that one, and well, it did the same thing. And then he did the shit we're gonna be talking about today, and it's all just kind of coming full circle. I'm just gonna be honest, whenever I've watched his videos, he's always kind of struck me as a guy who got some money from YouTube, a lot of money from YouTube, and kind of started to treat everyone around him like they were lesser than him. Like watching his videos always made me feel sort of bad for his friends. Maybe it was just a bit for the video, but he always seems to be kind of like a dick to him. And not just the people around him, and maybe even more so, anybody on social media who says anything that's not 100% positive about him. Like he seems to be very, very, very caught up with how people think about him negatively, which I mean, like that's a fair thing. When you have that level of internet fame, you're gonna get a lot of negative comments, but he seems to focus on it way too fucking much. Like for example, a few years ago, he made a video titled "My New Lamborghini Paid For by the People That Hate Me," where he shows some hate comments that he received over the years because I guess it's a really big deal that not every single person who comes across your video on the internet likes it. And the description is, "Look everyone, the stupid kid that everyone hates bought a $2 million car as a beater. What are you gonna do? Cry? Piss your pants?" And like, yeah, you could say it reads as a joke, but if you watch the video, not really. Like he includes dozens of screenshots of hate comments. When in reality, no, the small minority of people who left hate comments on your video, not the people who bought your Lamborghini. Your fans who have supported you for years, watched all your videos, bought all your merch. Those are the people who bought that Lamborghini, and that goes basically completely unmentioned. He just focuses on the hate. Now that video isn't really what we're talking about today, but I do think the added context is important because what we are talking about today is a few Instagram story posts that Cody, aka WhistlinDiesel, made the other day, and really just his behavior on Instagram in general, because he sorta has been like attacking his fan base recently for no fucking reason. Now if my memory serves me correctly, right now WhistlinDiesel is in Dubai, and he's doing things like driving Ferraris, hanging out with beautiful women, you know, the shit that influencers do when they go to Dubai. And he's been posting about this on his Instagram story and on his Instagram in general. And instead of enjoying the moment, you know, enjoying the things that many young men dream of doing, you know, like driving Ferraris around with beautiful women, he's posting those things onto his story, and he's immediately going into his Instagram DM requests to see what everybody has to say. And while I'm sure there are hundreds, if not thousands of DMs saying, "Happy for you, man, you're living the dream, proud of you," shit like that, he decides to post this screenshot onto his Instagram story. Now, let's be fair, what this guy said was pretty shitty. He says, "Man found a gold digger and thinks she's a princess. Brother, she's gonna use you until you spend time, energy, and money on her. You can see it in her eyes, she's fake." Now, obviously, if you're a guy involved with somebody, you don't want to hear that, but if you're a famous influencer who's driving around a Ferrari with a beautiful woman, you're probably just gonna have to let those slide. I mean, come on. Be the bigger man. You're gonna hear shit like that if you have money. It's one of those things you're just gonna probably have to get over. But instead, WhistlinDiesel responds, bro sees my girlfriend in a Ferrari and thinks that means she's a gold digger. A Ferrari is a normal car. You just think it's crazy because you're poor and have low standards. Let's repeat that one more time. A Ferrari is a normal car. You just think it's crazy because you're poor. This is the bare minimum. Now, obviously, this is a pretty crazy thing to say. Nobody likes a guy who's this comfortable punching down. Nobody with a decent set of morals is gonna enjoy when a wealthy person punches down on the poor, especially when it's as stupid as this. Like, come on. A Ferrari is a normal car. Like, seriously? On the topic of attainable cars, and by that, I mean like car brands where you can actually expect to be able to buy a car. We're not talking like Pagani or Koenigsegg. A Ferrari is just about as abnormal as it gets. Buying a new Ferrari is a whole song and dance that a lot of people who have the money to buy a Ferrari are not willing to spend the time to learn. Somebody could hand you $1 million cash and you could walk into every single Ferrari dealership in the country, and by the end, you would not have a new Ferrari. Used Ferrari, bit of a different story, but this idea that a Ferrari is just a normal car is, to put it bluntly, just a dumbass thing to say. And I suspect every other Ferrari owner besides this guy would agree with that. Now, he follows this up by saying, if you want to see a lot of extremely salty people, look at my last reel, because a lot of people saw this. What he said about the Ferrari kind of went like mini viral, and a lot of people didn't really like that. It's a shitty thing to say. And then I assume somebody probably pulled him aside and was like, hey, man, this is a pretty bad look. Do something. So he posted this. Just to specify, I think there are a lot of good people on Earth, and there are also a lot of smart people on Earth. So that means nothing. No shit. I have many amazing and supportive followers, and I'm very thankful for you, but I also absolutely enjoy interacting with stupid people on the internet. If you take the time to analyze things and consider different life approaches, it's as tempting as poking a monkey in a cage, which I don't know about you guys, but that's not a very tempting thing to me. But this basically means nothing. I guess this is supposed to be like a sorry I fucked up thing, but he basically says nothing. And the fact that he's sort of like backhandedly calling his entire audience poor, or just anybody who doesn't have a Ferrari poor and a person with no standards, is not even addressed. And while this is the only one that made it onto the Instagram story that day, this is like really all this guy does with his Instagram. I'm not gonna like put people on blast here, but seriously, if you go to his Instagram, go to any post you want, he will have responded to some comments in the comment section, and they will only be negative comments. This guy is a young rich dude driving any car he wants, hanging out with anybody he wants, going anywhere he wants, and what he's spending his days doing is responding to anything that's not positive on Instagram. And like, I don't know what he thinks he's doing here. I'm not in his mind, so I can't speak for him. I can't really know what he thinks this is making him look like. I'm assuming he's thinking this makes him look cool, like responding to all the haters and shit like that, but really it just screams insecurity. Like, there's no other explanation for this. This is deeply insecure behavior. If you're posting videos of you driving $500,000 cars onto your Instagram story, hanging out at one of the most expensive places to hang out on Earth, driving around with women, doing anything you want, if you're doing all that stuff and what you're concerned about, while you should be having like the time of your life, you know, like what you're trying to make it seem like you're doing is how people are perceiving it, especially the ones who are perceiving it negatively, you're insecure. There's just no way around it. And I really think that people who are insecure like this don't realize that it's so transparent. I mean, I think anybody who sees this behavior can see it for what it is pretty easily. Like, look, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with posting videos of the cars you drive or pictures of where you're visiting or the girl that you're dating. That's pretty normal stuff in the modern era. But you make it pretty obvious that the only reason you're doing those things is so people see it and perceive it positively, when you react so aggressively and so harshly and so consistently to the people who don't perceive it in the way you want. You may not realize it, but you're showing your hand whether you think you are or not. And like, look, I get it. I mean, let's get down to the brass tacks here. I probably have more in common with WhistlinDiesel than I do with the average person watching this video. We're both young guys who have found success on YouTube, and we've used that success to buy the things that we enjoy, and for both of us, that seems to be loud, rowdy, flashy cars. I don't support it. I don't think he should be doing it, but I understand what he is doing, which is really why I'm making this video. I get it. When you grew up poor and you did your YouTube shit all throughout high school and people would say, oh, you're still making those stupid fucking videos? You're wasting your time, bud, which happens. Like, it's a silly thing to think about, but people will look you in the eyeball and say, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you wasting your time with YouTube? And then all of a sudden the ball starts rolling, things start to snowball, you're making money from YouTube, people start to recognize you, you buy a nice car, and you want to go, look what I did. Is it still a waste of time? And those feelings as a young, insecure man are hard to get over. It took me a while to do so, because humans love negativity. Let's be frank, it's why the commentary space, the kind of content I make, is so negative, because people don't really want to hear you be super positive all the time. So it's easy to forget about the thousands upon thousands of people saying, I love your videos, I love your content, keep doing what you're doing, it's great. And it's even easier to focus on the people saying, your content sucks, you're wasting your time, who watches this shit? And when you're insecure, when you're young, you want to point at them, you want to say, you're wrong, I've proven you wrong, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't make you feel any better. And deep down, you know that, and it's why you keep having to do it, why you keep having to respond to negative comments, because every time you respond to one, it doesn't actually make you feel any better. Because on some level, you know, they don't really give a shit. The people who commented on your early videos saying that this content is shit don't care that you bought a Ferrari. They'd probably just say something like, oh my god, they make anybody famous these days, huh? This idiot gets to buy a Ferrari making a shitty content. Like, that's what they think about you. They think you make shitty content. You buying a Ferrari or driving around Dubai is not going to change that. What you are going to change by doing this is the way that the people who actually like you, the people who do enjoy your content, perceive you. When all you can focus on is the negative, when you're trying to own the haters so bad that you call anybody who doesn't own a Ferrari poor, the people who do like you, the people who do see you in a positive light, are going to start to have their opinions changed. So if you see this, WhistlinDiesel, which, I mean, it seems like you might, seems like you kind of have a knack for finding things that are not exactly positive that are said about you. I feel like you're on a tightrope right now. If you Google your name, the general sort of perception of you is starting to change, man. And it's because of this insecurity that you hold. People are not liking this behavior, and rightfully so. Nobody wants to be called poor and told that they have no standards because they don't have a $500,000 car. You are letting this insecurity begin to ruin you, and that's what it's going to do. You may not see it right now because a lot of people love you, but if you continue to do this shit, like I said, you're not going to change the minds of these people that you want to change the minds of. You're only going to change the minds of the people who already like you. You haven't done it on like a mass scale yet, it doesn't seem, but the gears are turning, man. It's time to make a change. Well, guys, what do you think? I almost kind of feel for the guy because, like I've been saying, I understand what he's feeling. Like, I understand why he's doing this, but you know, there are limits, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it's really hard to defend somebody who is calling somebody poor for not owning one of the most expensive car brands on the planet. So, you know, it's kind of a give and take. Because I can kind of understand what the guy's feeling, I hope he can get over this. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're gonna sabotage yourself over something as stupid as some random person on the internet thinking that they know the intentions of somebody that you know personally better than you do, I mean, that's kind of on you. But you can't let little shit like that get to you. When you start ignoring stuff like that, when you stop responding to every negative comment you get, things get a lot easier. Things get a lot happier. People don't say focus on the positive for no reason. Might be a good idea, WhistlinDiesel. See ya.